What's going on, guys? Luke22SV here, and welcome back to the 9th round of Season 3 of the Career Mode today, here for the Austrian Grand Prix off the back of a 4th place result in France, which could have been a podium, but we had a 5-second penalty. But hopefully we are coming into Austria. We're looking to get our season back on track, and currently slipping down a little bit in the standings. We were leading the championship after Spain, and then went into Monaco with the poor result, and Canada with the DNF. We're now down to 4th and 17 points behind Lando Norris, and further 7 points behind Verstappen and 5 behind Butler, as the 2 Red Bulls and 2 McLarens are going at it hammer and tongs for this season. And hopefully we will be the ones that come out on top, and hopefully we can definitely be able to do a good result in our home Grand Prix in Austria as well. So coming into this weekend, we don't really tend to do too well in qualifying compared to the race. So here we go then, on to our final lap, and we're currently down at P5, so it's not the best possible position at the moment. We can see our teammates in first, so we want to get up to where he is ideally. Ricciardo doing very well though in the Racing Point, and the other Racing Point of Perez is behind me as well in P5, P6 rather. So yeah, it's looking pretty good for the Racing Points, but we go purple in Sector 1, and now this is looking quite handy for a potential pole position here around the Red Bull ring in the Red Bull. So can we pull this off with just not too many corners left to negotiate really? Not the I think it's the fewest corners on any F1 track actually, this circuit. So hopefully we can get through these next few corners and carry on delivering. We're currently up by quite a bit on our previous lap time, so it's looking quite handy, but only a green Sector 2, so not setting a purple Sector 2 there. So it's looking a little bit concerning for the last bit of the lap. If we can do a few corners here, and the second to last corner and the last corner, we could be in contention for pole position. If we run a little bit wide, maybe loses us a little bit of time, which you cross the line, and it's only P4 in the end. And the engineers are saying it's a bit disappointing, despite being in P4. So nonetheless, we can be looking quite strong in the race tomorrow. And in the end, Devon Butler's the man on pole position. He overtook Max Verstappen in the end. Lucas Weber doing very well, and Lando Norris, the championship leader, down in 12th. So another disappointing qualifying from him. Don't know what goes wrong in qualifying for him. And yeah, there we go. Ricciardo doing well, and both the Racing Points in 5th and 6th in the end. So interesting to see that. And the Mercedes of Hamilton down in 13th as we move on into the race very shortly. And here we go then. It's the 5 red lights to start the Austrian Grand Prix. Can we get a good result here to improve our championship battle? It's lights out, and away we go, and Perez getting immediately a better start than us as we head towards the first corner. We dive back down the inside of Sergio Perez, retaking that 4th place that we just lost. Lucas Weber bogs down on the end of first corner. Now we're looking to try and take P3 away from him, squeezing him a little bit towards the end of the track as we look to dive down the inside of the turn 3 on Lucas Weber, almost running into the back of our teammate there, but now forcing him out wide. We've now taken P3, yellow flags in the background, probably just everyone's concertinaing up and slowing down, so not to worry about that as we now chase our teammate and Devon Butler. And it's going to be a long race now for the championship. It's 3 of the top 4 in the championship currently fighting for the lead of this race then. It's going to be a titanic battle to see if we can get past these two, and I hope this could be a season defining race potentially if we can get past these two, because this is going to be a huge battle between these two drivers that are at the top of the standings with us. Unfortunately for Lando Norris, he's still in the midfield, so he really needs to pull his finger out in qualifying if he wants to be in a title challenge, because sooner or later Lando Norris is going to be fading away if he carries on to perform poorly in qualifying. And if us 3 at the top keep fighting up, we're going to get the maximum points from every race possible. And at the moment it's looking pretty strong for Verstappen. We're both looking fairly strong in this race at the moment. McLaren have the strongest car on paper, but at the moment Butler's holding us up a little bit here, and we go round the outside of our teammate around turn 3, caught him a little bit unawares, almost got Devon Butler there. He was going very slowly on the exit of that corner, and now we're on a chance here to almost take the lead of this race early on here if we can get past Butler, who's seems to be holding us up at this point. He's not really started this race very strongly, and now if we can get past him, hopefully we can pull away. But DRS activated at the end of this lap then, and yeah, a little bit dirty air actually following Devon Butler through those few corners. But now we can get a good exit. Perhaps we can think about move, but Verstappen will be trying to fight back. He wants to win his title just as much as we do, but just as much as Devon Butler does as well. So We go through the penultimate corner and through the last corner to start lap 3, and DRS will now be enabled. And can we get past Devon Butler immediately here, as we set the fastest lap of the race as well? So that's going to be an important factor as well. Maybe those precious points for fastest lap could pick up as well in the next few races, as McLaren and Red Bull looking really strong now. And look at this, we've got DRS on Devon Butler going to the outside. Can we take the lead of this race from Devon Butler? Yes, we can. Before the corner has even come across us, we end up taking the lead, but we run deep into turn 3, but we managed to get a good exit anyway and stay ahead of Butler then for the time being. But is he going to be able to get past us? He's got DRS now. Is he going to be able to retake the lead of this race? We forced him to go to the outside, and we have the inside line, and we'll keep on the lead. We force him out wide, run wide ourselves a little bit there, and Verstappen's through into P2, and that's going to enable Verstappen to almost think about taking the lead here. He goes down the inside. We're trying to defend the line, and is he going to be able to make it past us on the inside there? Yes, he can. Surely we're still fighting him off, and two teammates here fighting on the Red Bull ring in the Red Bulls for first and second. It's exactly what the fans would have wanted, but Verstappen coming out on top at this time, and he takes the lead of this race then. So the lead changes 3 times or twice in one lap as Verstappen takes the lead of the race then, and Butler drops to third. But now we're going to be trying to charge past him again with DRS ourselves again this time. So it's all going to be a little bit of a domino effect perhaps, with well, whoever's in the lead is going to not have DRS, and everyone behind him is going to have DRS. So me and Butler at the moment are the ones with DRS, and Verstappen's the one that's going to have to try and build a second. But we have managed to retake the lead of this race, and Verstappen trying to dive back down the inside of us there, and we're not having any of that. We take the lead of this race then again, and moving on to the end of lap 5, we're still in the lead of this race, but still Verstappen and Butler still not being able to shake them off yet. But Verstappen now going back for the lead then. Can he take the lead? Yes, he can. We're going to try and cut back underneath him on the charge up to turn 3, and we retake the lead then. And it's already a titanic battle for this race, and just managing to keep the lead ahead of Verstappen then. Now, as we head into turn 3, is he going to be able to get past us with DRS again on the exit that straight? There we go. We got a much better exit than he did, so hopefully we can actually now pull away, because it's just been relentless. We need to build that second gap so he doesn't have DRS, and he's not getting towed along right behind us. So if we can pull out a second gap, that will help us out big time. And now this is our chance. We need to turn up the engine really, but we're not doing that at this point. So we're saving ERS, and we're saving a little bit of fuel, trying and pull away from Max Verstappen and Devon Butler. And this could be important to try and rebuild the confidence in our team after a lackluster few performances in the recent times, particularly in Canada, where we really should have had that win in the bag. And we haven't yet won a race this season, but we are still in 4th. It's just a little bit of inconsistencies from all the top 4 really. Norris has been sort of picking up where others haven't in races, and he's sort of been quite bad in qualifying, which has held him back a little bit. But Verstappen now going for it again into turn 3. Is he going to be able to retake the lead again in this race? I don't know how many times the lead has changed so far in this race, just in the first 7 laps. But Verstappen's still going for it here. And yeah, Verstappen's had a few issues as well here and there. So has Butler as well. We've had a few issues with Butler as well. So it's all a bit of anything can happen at the moment, because everyone's having their own issues. So you just got to pick up as many points as possible when you can. And at the moment, that's what we're trying to do, and trying to stop Verstappen and Butler from getting anywhere near us. And at the moment, we're just trying so hard to pull away from Verstappen, but he's just managing to stay with us every time. He gets a much better exit. He's going down the inside again on this corner, the penultimate corner. A bit of an unorthodox overtaking spot, but we keep the lead again for the time being. Just for the time being, is we get a decent exit out of the last corner, and now we move on to lap 8. He's on us again, and is he going to be able to make a move on us again? No, he's not. We're just going to be able to keep the lead at this point. But look at the exit he gets out of that corner. Verstappen now on the inside. Is he going to be able to make it past where he just did a few laps to go? Contact's been made. There's a little bit of contact there. He managed to force his way through. We're trying to make it past a bit more contact. We almost sent backwards there, and managed to correct it in the end. And now that's put us under a lot of pressure though from Butler, Weber, Bottas, everyone trying to get past us. We go into the penultimate corner, shutting the door. Another bit of oversteer as we're just trying so desperately to keep this second place at the moment. As we can see, Verstappen perilously leading the race, and he's now got over a second gap. So that's exactly not what we wanted. And now the guys behind us are chopping and changing positions. And Sergio Perez has got up into 3rd place. He did very well last time out in France, so Racing Point actually starting to come on in leaps and bounds as well, starting to get a good car now, and yeah, they're starting to be a bit more of a threat than perhaps Mercedes or Ferrari, who are a little bit starting to languish down in the midfield ever so slowly now. And well, here we go then. We're going to have to pit at the end of this lap, so we're going to be seeing Max Verstappen still in front of us, and we're going to try and get the undercut, like he ended up getting the undercut on us in France, which we were so annoyed about. That ended up costing us a little bit in terms of race position in the end, because we could have finished ahead of Verstappen perhaps if we pitted before him. And of course, in this championship battle, every race result is important, but unfortunately things didn't work out for us in France. But now, can we get an undercut on Verstappen in Austria? Maybe the team doing a little bit of a little bit of a favour for me by giving me the first stop. And now we come in for those medium tyres, and hopefully this can be a good enough pit stop to put us out ahead of him. It's a 2.2 second pit stop, that's not too bad. And you can see we're down in last place as no one else has decided to pit yet. So people running a lot longer on the softs than they would be on the mediums. So maybe there's good signs of good tyre deck really, not needing to pit. But maybe on these medium tyres we can have a little bit more performance. And you can see on the next lap we've set a purple sector 3. Is this going to be good enough though to set us past Verstappen? And the answer is no. In fact, he's a little bit further away almost compared to when we actually pitted. So that's not really helped us out a lot at all. And now we're going to have to do a lot of chasing in the last 7 laps of this race to see if we actually really want this win. And it's going to be a very close battle between the Red Bull drivers by the looks of it, because Butler's faded away a little bit now. He's not actually. I think he's actually behind Lucas Weber. So Weber, a little bit of an underdog perhaps for the second half of the season. Is he going to be able to start being able to fight for race wins and maybe take points away from us guys at the top? Because Alpha started the season pretty poorly, and now they're starting to come on strong. But also we're coming on strong now in this second half of the race, setting a purple sector 2. Is this going to be able to help us close in on Max Verstappen for a potential win here, as more cars go into the pits as we go off the track? A little bit of oversteer again, and just pushing very hard to try and get anywhere near Max Verstappen. We set the fastest lap of the race then in doing so, and now chasing Max Verstappen. And it's now a straight battle in the last 6 laps of this race between myself and Verstappen for the win. Who's going to be able to win this race then out of myself and Verstappen? Weber is a little bit further back, so maybe it's just a two-way fight then in the last 7 laps. Can we close in on Verstappen? There's yellow flags as well on the back straight up leading up to turn 3. Someone is out of the race, so who knows who that could be, as we're chasing Verstappen now and just pushing so hard. And it's Daniel Ricciardo, so disappointing for him. He did really well in qualifying, and to see him out of the race, that's a really unfortunate. And so yeah, Racing Point still have Sergio Perez in the race. I don't know where he is now, but he was running in third again, so there is potential for podiums there for Sergio Perez. But as you can see there now, we've got the virtual safety cars been deployed. So whilst that has a little bit of advantage for Verstappen really, we're not able to close in on him, so the gap's going to be pretty much maintained for the next few whilst the virtual safety car is out. So we're running out of time to catch up with Verstappen, and this is going to help him out a little bit, give him a little bit of breathing space. But we can turn down the ERS, turn down the fuel, and perhaps give us a little bit more of a boost towards the end of the race, and perhaps that could help us out in turn. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. There's a few laps left, but we're running out of time if we want to catch Verstappen, and perhaps caught up a little bit there, caught off a little bit guard. And now we're assuming we're racing. Can we catch up with Verstappen? We've just got 5 laps left to go, and now it's just crunch time now. We've really got to post in some good laps if we really want to get close to him, because he's got some really good pace as well in the other Red Bull, of course. And we've just got to try and close in on him. And it's really not much left in this race. It's as soon as we get close to him as well, we really got to make that move past him immediately, because otherwise he could end up just winning the race. And it's going to be important as well for the championship as well, because we're behind him at the moment, and then again running wide in the penultimate corner. But because we're behind him, he's going to be gaining some more points than us at the moment. He's gaining currently 6 points, and at the moment we're 4th in the standings. So we need to be gaining points on everyone at the moment, because if we start losing points on everyone, we could be just starting to fade away from the championship at an alarming rate, and eventually coming towards the end of the season we may not even be in contention anymore. But so at the moment we just need to get us as many points as we are, as many points as we can, so when we do have those bad races we can still be there in the fight. So we need to get a win here to actually start, maybe even get our season started, because we haven't even got a win yet in the season. I think everyone else in the top 4 has. Verstappen has won. I think Butler's won, and Norris I think has won the opening race of the season, if I remember rightly. But now we're just 1.4 seconds behind Verstappen as we head towards the end of lap 14. Can we get close enough to Verstappen in the last few laps? It's going to be just going to have to try very hard. We're not too far behind, so we just need to gain a few tenths to get within on DRS. And once we do get within DRS, we should be able to close in a lot more. And now moving on to the last lap of the race, we're so close to Verstappen. Can we get past him on the last lap of the race? A much better exit through the first corner. We've got DRS now. Can we get close enough to him into turn 3 to make a move? We're getting very good. Look at that slipstream closing us in. We go down the inside, just like the Mercedes did in 2016, fighting for the win on the last lap into that corner. We go down to the inside this time, and we're through past Max Verstappen for the win in the last lap of the race. Is he going to be able to fight back? He's looking very close. He's got the slipstream, he's got DRS. He's going down the inside to retake that lead. He does not want to lose this race. There's a bit more contact again there, but this time we managed to keep hold of the position, and Verstappen has him to settle for P2. And unfortunately for him, is he going to be able to make a move on the last couple of corners? It's still very close. We've got hardly any ERS, hardly any fuel available. If Verstappen's got anything available, he needs to use it now. We turn it up to hot lap. Is he going to be able to make it past us into the penultimate corner of the last lap? He goes to the outside, but it just isn't going to work there. We go round the last corner of the last lap. And are we going to be able to win this race? Is he going to be able to get us on the line? No, and another close finish at Austria, as we have seen before with the 2 Ferraris. And finally getting our first race win of the season, and that's going to put us back in championship contention. And of course, if you didn't notice, there wasn't enough replays as there normally is, and the upload studio is just not working at the moment properly, but nonetheless I'm trying very hard to get the next few episodes of the career mode up now, and we should see some regular uploads. So with that, is a good win for us. Weber in 3rd place, so he's actually done us a favour by keeping Butler off the podium. I don't know where Butler or Norris finished, we'll have to see, but there you can see Butler 5th in the end from pole position. He'll be devastated with that, and you can see Norris as well 7th, so he managed to gain a few positions, but again, the championship leader he was going into this round, that is a pretty poor showing for him. And now we take the lead of the championship by 1 point from Verstappen, 3 from Norris, and then 11 to Butler, so it's really close. And Lucas Weber up into 5th now, so we're going to have to watch out for him perhaps coming through the standings. And yeah, we take the lead of the constructors as well by getting that 1-2, 44 points to our name in the, well, it's looking very handy then for the second half of the season. We head to our home race in Silverstone next time, so hopefully we can do well there. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed it today. Hopefully I can get back to some much better uploads, and hopefully for the next few videos the upload studio will be hopefully working reliably, but no guarantees. Anyway, like and subscribe, and take care guys.